Yo, what up? It's your main man, Corey Espy, and I'm going to tell you how I overcame diabetes and depression. Growing up a young boy in Tyler, Texas, the Rose City, I always had aspirations of doing something in the entertainment field. Growing up, I was like a class clown in school, and everybody knew that everywhere I go, I was going to be like, put the spotlight on me. Because when I show up in the room, I'm going to shut things down. And so I also was like voted future comedian, in my high school, my senior year. So I always knew I had some type of stench. I wanted to do stand-up. That's how I kind of wanted to start things. But I always knew that I wanted to do something to entertain people because I just love to make people laugh. That was my thing. Any place I went, I wanted to make people laugh. I felt like that was my giving back because I always felt like so much hurt was in the world, and how I could heal the world was by making people laugh. And I didn't realize that one day I would probably need somebody to make me laugh. About a couple years ago, I found out I was diagnosed with diabetes. And right around that time, I had slipped into a deep depression. Of course, being an entertainer, your life, especially the way that I live it, is kind of public sometimes, and you're always at the forefront, especially like on social media now. We're in the era where everything is just caught, and I've always tried to take advantage of that. So when I started battling, through this mentally and a part of me physically, I didn't realize the effect that it was taking on me and the toll that it was taking on my mind and my body. Being a single father, I would always try to preach to my kids accountability for life. And here was the one point of my life where I wasn't being accountable for self. I wasn't being responsible for self. And I kept trying to pretend to people that everything was all right, but it wasn't. I was slowly slipping bad. Health was on the line. I found myself the first time going through when I was rushed to the hospital, fighting for my life. Heart rate dropped to a 34, and I didn't really know what to do because I had never dealt with this, especially for part of my life. I was considered one of the health gurus, always keeping people in shape, working hard, teaching people how to work hard, how to eat and everything. And for the first time, I was faced with the battle that everybody else was faced with, and I didn't know how to overcome it. Right around the time we started doing Love and Drugs 2, I slipped back into a depression. And of course, I stopped doing the medication and everything, stopped doing insulin. And of course, the diabetes started acting up. It was triggered once again. And instead of talking about it, instead of getting help, I kept it to myself. While we were on set, many days I would sit and I would be in a lot of, not pain, but just I would be bothered because I would start to battle vision issues. I would be real tired, not having any energy. But I knew that what was going on, it was a bigger than me moment, and I had to perform. And I'm pretty sure if I was public about it, or if I, talked to DeMarcus or somebody, or maybe Monica, we could have figured something out, and they was, for the part that they knew that I started feeling bad again, and they would constantly ask me, you good. And of course, everybody else didn't know it, but I would still show up and still do it. That was a scene I remember we were doing where we was doing the club scene. And if you look real close, I'm sort of propped up. I'm just kind of sitting like this because they actually had 3 ice packs stuffed down me because I started overheating and I felt dehydrated and different things, and I just didn't know if I was gonna make it or not. And so that's how we were pressing through that day, which I was expressing myself with a lot of energy, but I was really, really feeling bad. And so not too long after we wrapped the film up, I ended up back in the hospital. And the thing about it was I was back into another phase in my life to where I didn't know how I was going to cope. I didn't know how I was going to do it because we were just wrapping up the promo tour for Love and Drugs 2. And I remember coming back from Atlanta and I was fighting hard, but I was in a bad place. And I remember Santasha, who plays Tanya in the movie, she was like, bro, you good? And I remember I told her, yeah. And I got back home and I couldn't lie to myself no more. because I would find myself, just sleeping all day. I would find myself being dark in my room, and I would just really, really feel like I couldn't do anything, And so when I went back to the hospital this time, I remember them telling me, you've got to get a hold of this. And I couldn't, because for the first time in my life, I couldn't fight. I didn't have no fight in me at all, and I was trying to be all I could be for my family. I was trying to be everything I needed to be for myself, but I wasn't taking care of self. And I would just remember, upon the time that they was getting ready to release me, the doctor told me, she said, if you don't take care of this, you're either gonna lose something or you're not gonna make it at all. And I remember just, right before all that, I would just lay in my bed and I would cry, and I would just say, man, God, I gotta get through this. I gotta figure out a way to do it. And I know I can't do it alone. And from that point, I decided to not suffer in silence anymore, but talk about it and get it out there. And really, so when I came home this time, I was just going to be the biggest advocate about it, of how to deal with the emotional state, the mental state, and also the physical state of it, and started doing things and talking to other people who were dealing with it. And it kind of helped me go through it. So this time around, I wasn't going to shell myself from the world. I was going to let the world know what I was dealing with, and I was going to handle it, and I was going to stand on it, and I was going to be accountable for me, So now it's that thing of, I'm going to defeat the mental part of it, I'm going to defeat the physical aspect, and the emotional part I'm going to keep balanced out and under control. Because I know that I'm the most important thing to me when it comes to me, and I know I have to take care of me. So if you are battling mental illness out there, if you're battling depression, or if you're going through physical, things that you can't really comprehend with, don't do it in silence. You do more damage to yourself being quiet than living out loud for others to help you. And if you're gonna do what I do, or what I did, then you only hurt yourself. And that's how I overcame depression and beat diabetes.